What's up, YouTube? Today I wanted to share a little project that I'm working on. I am building a hush box for my projector. So as you can see behind me, I have my projector and it's sitting right above my listening position. Now I didn't plan it that way, but once I built my riser, I had to situate my seats in a certain way that made sense. So it just so happened that the projector is right above my listening position, and I need to make a hush box because it's too loud. It just gets too loud and there's too much ambient noise, and it's really distracting, at least for me. I don't know if other people notice it when they come over, but you can't really notice it when there's, loud action scenes, or if there's just a loud movie in general. You really can't hear it, but as soon as it gets quiet, I hear it. It annoys me. So I'm building a hush box to hopefully suppress some of the ambient noise that is coming from the projector while I'm watching movies. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to measure how much ambient noise is coming from the projector using my SPL meter. Alright, so I took some measurements. I really only took 2 measurements. That's really all I needed to take. I really only used 2 settings. Now I have multiple profiles, but with those 2 settings I'm able to create different profiles for Ultra HD and as well as just regular viewing, TV viewing and movie viewing. Alright, so if you're just looking at the numbers, there's really not that much of a difference, maybe a 3 decibel difference, but hearing it, there is a difference. So when I go from the high setting to a lower setting, so usually when I'm watching an Ultra HD movie, I have a specific setting that I've calibrated for, and that's higher, the fan gets louder. There's a big difference from that between watching just standard television or a non-Ultra HD movie. Again, it's only about a 3 decibel difference between the two, but it's very noticeable when you're watching the movie. So I'm hoping to combat the noise with a hush box, and I've got some acoustic material that I'm going to be putting inside of it to hopefully dampen that noise and the ambient noise that's going to be coming out when I'm watching a movie. So stay tuned.
Alright, so this is the hush box that I'm building. You have to excuse the mess in the garage. It's a garage. It's also a workout area and where I build all my stuff. But this is the front of it. So this is going to be the front, and where the projector lens is, instead of cutting out a circle, I'm just going to measure the diameter. So this is going to be the same all around, and I'm just going to cut a square, and that'll be easier than trying to cut a circle for the front. So this is the side, and there's going to be an exhaust fan that I'm going to put right here. And as you can see, it's not very pretty, which it doesn't need to be. It's going to be covered up. I'm going to smooth out some of the rough edges, but it doesn't need to be pretty. It's not very professional. It's just something that's makeshift that I'm doing by myself to save money. This is going to be the back of it. I kind of messed up. This was supposed to be the side, so I'm going to have to cut these off. But this was just put here as a brace so that the exhaust fan can have something to mount to on the side. So that's the bottom, and what I did was I bought these panels. No, I'm sorry, not panels, but these very thin layers of wood. And I have about 2 of them. And I cut them to the length that I needed to. So this one's already burned. This is going to be one of the side panels. And then there's a cutout for the exhaust fan. So I've got most of them already cut out. So that's the right side, left side. Actually, I think this is going to be, this might be the back, I don't remember. But I'm going to have an exhaust fan that has a thermometer on it and a control unit where I can change the temperature, and it has a reading that shows me, you know, what the temperature is going to be. And then I'm going to use one of these. So I'm going to use one of these on the side so that the cables can come out and go into the power outlet. So it's going to kind of sit in here. And kind of sit like that in here. Obviously you can't see right now because the panel isn't on there, but I'm going to put the panel on there, and then I'm going to cut out the template on the panel, and then this is going to sit here, and then the cables. Obviously it's not going to go exactly like this, I'm just showing you how it's going to go. But it's going to come out, and it's going to have access for my cables. And then on the bottom of the panel, or I'm sorry, on the bottom of the hush box, excuse me, I'm going to use these instead of just nail gunning it. If I have to take off the bottom, it's going to be a lot easier for me to just put these drywall studs. So I'm going to drill a hole, and then I'm going to put the stud in there, or the anchor in there, and then I'm going to put the bottom panel. I'm going to put the bottom panel on, and then I'm going to screw these in. So it's almost like, you know, when you're doing it in drywall, I can take these screws out, and then I can take the panel off, and if I need to do something, if I want to replace it, I don't have to worry about, oh, it's nailed in there. Now I got to try to get this off because it's really, really thin pieces of wood. So plywood. So that's the projector box, the hush box. Again, not very pretty. Doesn't need to be. And it's measured to scale of the projector. I gave it, you know, a little bit of room on the sides and on the front so that it has room to sit in there and move around. So that's that, and then I'll show you the exhaust fan. So this is the exhaust fan, and that's where it's going to sit. And so then I'm going to drill holes, the 4 holes on each side, and it has a control unit that it will plug into for the fans and the power. And the control unit is going to sit on this side over here. So I'll have it set up as an exhaust, and it'll pull the air from the projector out. And then on the other side, I'll have the control unit. So this is the control unit. So this is going to control the fan. It's the AC Infinity. I've heard really, really good things about these. Bought it off of Amazon. It's a little pricey, but I mean, it's worth it. You know, your projector, my projector, and pretty much all projectors, like that sucker puts off some heat. When it's on the high setting or even just on the low setting, it puts off some heat. Like it can heat up my room if I let it after a while. So, and anybody that knows anything about heat and electronics, heat is the #1 enemy of electronics. So you wanna, if you don't have a hush box and it's just mounted like I am now, it's fine. But if you're gonna enclose it, you definitely need something to exhaust the fan. And you can, this controller, the other fan, the fans that I showed you, you can have more than one, and one can be set up as an intake and the other can be set up as an exhaust. I'm just using it as an exhaust right now, but as you can see, it tells me I can set the setting, so I can tell it, hey, when the temperature inside the hush box gets to 80 degrees, kick the fans on. And then I can set an alarm. If the heat gets over, 95 or above, then it'll sound an alarm, and it tells me the fan speeds. There's a probe. Obviously, it's not connected to the fans right now, but this is what I'm going to be using. once I get it mounted, and it'll be controlling the fan. So that's where the fan plugs into. You can plug up to, and I think you can get like an extension and daisy chain more than one if you want. So that's gonna be my little project. So this is what I'm gonna be putting on the inside. Not the micanite. Oh, you like micanite? So this is a, quote unquote acoustic panel that I'm gonna be using inside. It's not very thick. Obviously I don't wanna make it too thick because the projector needs room to breathe, and I've already measured it, so hopefully this works a little bit better to dampen the noise, but it's got some adhesive on the back if I take this off. So I'm probably gonna put some more, maybe some liquid nails or something on there so that it'll it's not gonna come off over time. But I'm gonna put that on the bottom, on the sides, and of course I'll have to cut out, the cutouts where the exhaust and the controller, and then the access for all of the cables and stuff. So it wasn't very much. I think I got 12 of these on Amazon for pretty cheap. I don't remember the price, but I can link it in the description. So maybe this will give you some ideas for your hush mount. So this is where the hush box is going to go. Same spot. I'm going to have to take down that projector mount, but it's going to sit in the same spot. And as you can see here, that white piece of wood, that's where the front of it's going to mount to. So I'm going to mount it to that, and then in the middle of it, before I completely mount it, I'm going to put another thick piece of plywood or 2x4 that I've cut down, and where the outlet is, there's a 2x4 running across this way. So I'm going to mount that piece of 2x4 that I ripped. I'm going to mount it to that, and then I'm going to nail it on the sides, both sides of the hush box. And then on the side is where the little access panel, I already have one here. It's a little bit different, but one of those is going to be on the side so that it can go into the outlet there, and then I'll have to make a access in the back so that my HDMI cable can go through, and then on the side over here is going to be where the exhaust fan is going to be on the left side. So, and then if you walk to the front of it, so I'm going to I'm going to measure this. I think I already measured it. I don't remember what it is. But instead of me trying to measure or cut a circle, I'm just going to cut a square like that. And then I have some acoustic kind of like little panels that I'm going to put inside so that it'll hopefully dampen the noise a little bit. Since there's going to be, a hole in the front, it still should be quieter than what it is. So I'm looking forward to it.
So the hush box is not anything professional. It's just a makeshift hush box that I decided to make myself to save some money, and it doesn't need to really look pretty. It's going to be painted, it's going to be on the ceiling. Once the lights go out, everything's black. You're not even going to notice it. So I'm not really too concerned about the aesthetics. Obviously I want it to look nice, but it doesn't need to be extravagantly, professional or anything like that. It's just something that I decided to make myself, and I think it came out well, and I'm looking forward to seeing the results and see if it actually makes a difference. All right guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I gave you more inspiration if you're trying to build your own home theater, or if you're trying to build a hush box. Let me know what your projector situation is. Are you using a hush box, or do you just have it mounted? What's the ambient noise like? Let me know in the comments. All right guys, see you next time in the next video.